Hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another third stimulus check unemployment benefits extension update. So in today's update, I really just want to talk about the $10,200 unemployment tax cut credit, because the really great news is that that unemployment tax credit is now going to be coming this month. I think I probably mentioned in a past video how it was going to come in May, and the crazy thing is that now we are literally entering into the very beginning of May. Now, I do really want to make clear, because some people were kind of confused about like how this unemployment tax credit cut works, is that when it comes to the $10,200, it means that you are going to get $10,200 of your taxes from your unemployment program covered. So I think it's important to make clear is that this does not mean that you will see $10,200 deposited into your bank account. I wish that was the case. It would be so glorious if that was the case. I mean, this is almost like getting a $10,000 stimulus check. And technically there have been proposals, about the fourth stimulus check that maybe will eventually, the $2,000 monthly, so 5 months, $10,000. But what this basically means is that you're going to be getting $10,200 of your taxes covered, and then the difference between how much you can receive as your refund, that's going to be the amount that you will receive deposited into your bank account. That amount is probably going to vary from every single person. I would probably say the average individual, you're probably going to get about $2,000 to $3,000 as a tax refund back to you. But again, keep in mind is that that number can vary very drastically. For instance, if you were unemployed the entire year last year, if you were only unemployed part of the year, and then a lot of other just tax situations like your state, your location. But in today's update, what I really just want to talk about is when you can specifically expect to receive your tax refund if you're waiting for that unemployment tax credit / refund to finally come back. Who is going to get it first? Who is going to get it second? And then just when you should personally specifically receive it. So we're going to cover it all in today's video. But as always, if you guys enjoy videos like this, remember to smash the like button, and then also consider subscribing for videos super similar like this. And also because if I do end up receiving any kind of updates, I'll hopefully be able to share it with you guys. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, thoughts about honestly just really anything at all. Always great to say hi to new and familiar faces. So with that being said, let's get this video started. So when it comes to the $10,200 unemployment tax cut, I believe is that they will be starting to send those out, specifically the refunds, this month. Now, at this current time, the IRS has not given a specific date for when they will send it out. However, I think the belief is that, and this is just my personal speculation, is that they're probably going to deliver it somewhere around the last 2 weeks, probably more likely the last week of this month. The real reasoning really why is really just because since right now we still actually technically have not reached the tax deadline, which is really nice because it means that if you have not done your taxes, there is still time to basically either do your taxes or simply just to make any kind of possible adjustments, whether this is amendments for other kinds of programs to basically maximize. But the general idea is that I think it's believed that most likely the IRS is probably going to want to wait until almost every single person files their taxes, which is currently being due on May 17th, and then afterwards start to process the tax returns. And I think that the belief is, with the assumption that it takes them, typically about 1 week to process it, is that they're probably going to start their deliveries right around the very last week of this month. So basically the very end of May, but they haven't given a specific date. Now, one thing that they have specifically shared is really about who will specifically get it first, second, and then onwards. So I think the current status, the information that we have right now, is that the IRS is hoping to send out their first wave before the end of this month. And I think within that first wave, they're hoping to send it to specifically people that are single filers or just have some kind of very simple tax return. But in most cases, pretty much people that file single or independently. I believe that in that first wave, you should be able to receive your tax refund if that applies to you. The second wave, I believe, is going to have a little bit more variety, but I believe that in the second wave that they're going to be sending out their payments, so basically 1 week later from then, from whenever they start the first wave, is that they're hoping to now do it to married couples or basically joint filers. So if you happen to be a married couple or a joint filer, or I'd even go on to extend this to basically just say if you have some kind of more complicated tax situation, you will probably be in the second wave. And then I believe after the second wave, they're pretty much now every single week from then, they're going to be now sending out. So for example, the third week, they're going to be sending out the third wave, the fourth wave, all the way into basically throughout the summer. But I think the big send out, so basically the two big groups that will, the massive groups that, you know, people are expecting to receive their payment, is going to be the first and second wave. Now, with all of this said, I do think it's important to maybe notice is that, yes, exactly like what's been going on with the regular unemployment program, just to even, you know, get the extension, which some people are still waiting for to this day. Maybe feel free to comment if you guys happen to still be waiting. But because of that reason, yes, there probably will be some people that will have some kind of delay when it comes to getting the unemployment tax refund as well. I think the biggest reasons why you may end up, now this isn't to say that you will, and hopefully it doesn't happen to many people, but I think naturally just because of the way unemployment, the IRS, and just taxes in our country or just in general work, is that it would not be a surprise that there probably will be people that run into some kind of delay with getting their unemployment tax refund. But I would probably say is that the most common reason that you may end up running into a delay, if you do end up running into a delay, is probably going to be either because you either had to file an amendment. So I believe that anyone that had to file an amendment for something related to their taxes, they will probably run into some kind of delay to take another extra 1 or even 2 weeks, or just something right now that's currently unclear or unknown. I would probably say the second group of people that may end up running into some delay, interestingly, is really just if you happen to come from a state that's just slow. So that's probably more of like a state-related reason. But I think the big reason why also is because, as some of you guys know, is that all the unemployment taxes will be covered on the federal level. However, there are select states, I believe 12 or 13 states, that are not covering the taxes on the state level. Sadly, New York happens to be one of them. And I only say this because there's a lot of people I know that are from New York right here, although that applies to, you know, several other states as well. But the idea is that if you happen to come from a state that does not plan to cover up the unemployment taxes, then it's possible that it maybe will be a little bit longer or a little bit slower, simply because now they have to actually take extra time to be able to actually do the calculations for how much they're able to basically refund to you. And I'd probably say the third most common reason why you may end up running into some kind of delay is really if you happen to maybe actually, interestingly enough, be someone that actually owes taxes. Because keep in mind is that not every single person is even going to get a refund. It is very possible that what may end up happening is that maybe through your taxes, what ends up happening is that from your unemployment program, maybe you already pay taxes ahead of time. So maybe you're allowed to, let's say, for example, get $3,000 refunded to you, but maybe you end up actually owing taxes elsewhere. It's very, very possible that maybe, especially if you had other jobs, other side hustles, or other sources of income, you may actually end up in a case where maybe the IRS owes you specifically $3,000 from your unemployment tax refund, but also end up in a case where maybe you yourself actually owes the IRS another, let's say, $3,500 from just another kind of tax program. Though in that situation, you may actually end up in some kind of either delay, or you might actually end up in a case where you actually might have to actually pay or owe taxes now to the IRS. But these are just a couple examples. There's a couple of them, but I figured this is really probably the most common one to really be aware of. But the general idea is that the great news is that we are now coming very, very close now, especially since we are now officially in the month that the IRS has specifically stated that they will be starting to send out their tax refunds specifically for unemployment. You may be in the first wave, you may be in the second wave. People that are single filers or just have some kind of simple tax return, you'll be probably in the first wave. Married couples or basically people with more complicated tax returns will probably be in the second wave. And then other people that have just other kinds of situations, as we kind of just mentioned, will probably be in the third wave. And then just the waves that go on onwards for every single week all the way until pretty much this summer. But with that being said, that's pretty much just what I really wanted to just cover in today's update, because I know many people were wondering. If you guys found that insightful, maybe consider smashing the like button if you guys haven't done so. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell for videos similar to this and for more updates if they end up coming out. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, thoughts about honestly just really anything at all. If you are watching this on release date, happy Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. I interestingly just had tacos for lunch. But with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the start of the new month. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.